we are trying to provide you guys a chance to be able to hear the upcoming, those who are running for office, and learn what they are going to offer for the upcoming school year. So before we get started, I would just like to introduce and also recognize the presence of the different organizations we have here, not just in the School of Management, but also USF in general. Let's start off with the Startup Club. Is anyone, there you go. So we have the Startup Club. Our president is Marcos Idiati, and then the program director is Asata. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Asta, sorry. And the director of finance, Priyanshi. And then we have the Net Impact Club. We have the president here, Anna. Yes, Anna is here. The VP of Outreach, Navidit. And the VP of Finance, Zara. And the VP of Marketing, Elizabeth again. And the VP is the Asta also. And GMA, oh my gosh. These people are amazing. They're in every student organization. We have the president, Elizabeth. And the finance, for VP of Finance, I guess, is that Andrea, and the marketing one is Tarina. For AIS, she's currently running, the president is also currently running for a place in the student board. We have Cynthia, and the USF Cultural Center is represented by Dan. So he's on the table if you want to talk to him about everything that's going on about Cultural Center. It's important. I believe most of us are international students here, and also a percentage of the School of Management is mostly international students, so they offer a lot of programs for us, and also most importantly for the Gender and Sexuality Center in University of San Francisco. So also we would like to recognize the presence of one of actually our advisors, Sonia, and a part of Augusty as well. So feel free to the candidates and everyone here, feel free to interact with one another about the different student organizations that you want to join in for the next school year and what they are doing for the University of San Francisco. So just about this graduate student board, we are the board representing the interests of the graduate student body of USF, which focuses on amplifying the student voices, supporting the clubs which are present here today, building community, and increasing involvement and inclusively for the SOM graduate students. So I would like to introduce to you the stars of our show today. I would like you to meet our candidates, Akhil Delia, who's running for the VP of Finance, Akhil. And then we have Vibha, who's on Zoom right now, running for the VP of Events and Community Building. She's on Zoom. And we have Opsana running for the VP of Marketing and Public Relations. We have Cynthia running for full-time student representative. And Archie running for the VP of Clubs Secretary. Sorry. And this is just gonna be a simple panel interview, and we'll just leave 5 minutes of the time for questions in the end. So first, I would like to call on Thor to lead the panel.
I'm late, but I'm Thor. I'm the current student representative for full-time students, and I'm happy everyone's here, and I'm happy all the candidates are also here. So nice to meet you all. Okay, I think are we ready? Just kidding. It's gonna be an engaging and interactive engagement with you all. So tell us your name, what program you're in, and one fun fact about yourself. We can start from this side.
Sure. So hi, this is Arshi Jain, and I'm a full-time MBA student currently. I'm in first year, and a fun fact about me that I can cook amazing Indian food. So in case you really want to have good Indian food, you are welcome to my place anytime. Just let me know. And over to Sarah.
Thank you, Arshi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Upasana. I'm an MBA first year student. And one fun fact about me that I love traveling. I have done my bachelor's in mass communication. So I'm also a part-time Instagram influencer.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm from MSIS program. I'm a full-time student as well. So, and one fun fact about me would be, honestly, nothing is coming to my head right now, but yeah, I like to be like, I like to keep myself, like wherever I am, I like to keep the place very lively and fun. So I think that about myself. So that we call it as fun fact about this.
So hi guys, I'm Akhil Helia and I'm a full-time MBA student. One fun fact about me is I'm passionate about cricket and recently I've started cooking. So I'm getting better at that. So
It's cooking everybody's fun fact.
Yeah.
Bye. Hi everyone, I'm Vibha. I am with most of them pursuing my full-time MBA degree. And one fun fact about myself is I love biking, not cooking. Just
Sorry,
the
I didn't hear
biking.
it.
No, I love
Biking.
biking. Yeah.
Okay. And thanks everyone. I guess we're gonna move on to the more serious part of our engagement here. What role in the graduate student board did you apply for and why? Yes, we can start now with Viva, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Can you hear me? Fine. So I'm applying for GSP Vice President of Events and Community Building for two main reasons. One, I've been a passionate volunteer for a really long time and come with a similar background of events and somewhere community building. So I've worked for 4 to 6 currently NGOs and have been in the engagement lead portfolio for a while. And just the sense of bringing everyone together for a common purpose is what draws my attention and efforts towards making it happen. And I feel like this is the right place for me to kind of, make all the ideas that I have for our sound body to bring in action. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Viva. Alkil?
So hi guys, I'm running for the VP of Finance position in the graduate student board. And the reason I chose this particular position is because I feel finance is one of the important pillars of any organization, club, or the institution. And if the finances are not managed properly, it can be a cause of worry for any organization. And thus I feel that I'm passionate about finance, and I feel that with this particular opportunity, I can make sure that I manage the finances for these students and the GSB in an effective manner. And also I want to help the other clubs support with any finances that is required in making sure that their interests are fulfilled and thereby support them in any cause I can.
Okay, I'm Cynthia again, and I am running for this position of full-time student representative. I wanted to do this because, like, for instance, like GSP is doing a lot of amazing things, but it is like we kind of feel like it is not being spread. The word is not being spread. Like not everyone, every student in every program knows what's happening in GSP or what GSP is doing, and like they do not have the platform or the resort or a forum to reach GSP. So even for instance, like take this room, like it's not filled with people from any other program, like it's mostly MBAs. So I want to bridge that gap. I want to bridge that communication gap, and like so that we will know, like every student in every program will know like where they're supposed to go. There are a lot of startups, a lot of clubs. Even if they need some funding, they don't know. We don't like when we started with AIS, like we found it really difficult to who to go to, and like what is supposed to be done, who should we collaborate with, and all that. So I think that should be broken, that should be bridged. So I think I will be able to liaise between the organization and the student board, and will be able to communicate better. So that will be my main focus running for this position.
Hey everyone, Upasana again. So I'm running for VP of Marketing and Public Relations. And a little bit about my background, that I come with 7 years of a corporate experience. I started my journey working as a product manager back in India. Then I worked a couple of years as working as HR business partner in Boston. Then I moved to Silicon Valley. And I work closely with different departments, not just marketing, but like product, customer success management, and all those areas. One thing which I'm really passionate is about marketing. That is the reason I joined USF. And it's been almost like 9 months working very closely with faculty and also like my team members, co-workers, and also I feel like the majority of people at USF, they are more inclined towards pursuing into marketing courses. And one thing which I felt that even if we look into the placement, right, like I feel like we don't have that kind of a community here in which we are able to do like public relations. I think we are very fortunate that we are in Silicon Valley and we are surrounded with so many companies around us. So if I feel that if we are able to strategize our marketing in a much better way, we can definitely bring a lot of companies, especially who are based in the Silicon Valley. So I feel the students here are very versatile, and if I will be elected for this position, I will ensure that given from I'm coming from HR background, I already have a very good networking source. I will influence those companies to come and have a look into our into GSB students and see like what we can bring to the corporate table. And especially, I feel that I will be graduating into marketing. Like I'll be majoring into the marketing. So I understand that why marketing is super important for me. And I'm not just pitching for the marketing team. I feel like every team is kind of interdependent with each other, how exactly it works in the corporate. So with the help of the marketing team, I'm very confident that the public image, what we have at USF, we can definitely take it to the sky because there is no limit. And we can have a better placement and also like better community building around Silicon Valley, not just in Silicon Valley, across the west coast of America. Thank you.
Hi, so this is Arshi, and I am for the position of VP of Clubs and Secretary. And why particularly the Clubs and Secretary? First of all, I'll tell you the motivation. My friend never motivated me to stand for the GSP board. And at that time, I was like, okay, maybe or maybe not. But then after seeing the whole process, I'm like, yes, this is the thing I really want. All the clubs are super amazing, which are being offered by USF right now, the Net Impact Club, the Startup Club. They are doing wonderful. I just believe there is less kind of marketing done for them, as my friend Upasana already told about it. And there is where my role comes in. I can make an impact over there. I can make the voices of the students heard and the clubs heard. Basically, I can bridge the gap between, like, whatever good things are happening around us, we need to participate more in that. We need to engage more in that. And I personally believe I could do really wonderful in that particular thing, as I've already worked as in a similar organization for the vice president of Rotaract International, which was a social club and where we used to organize many events for the welfare of the society. Similarly, here at USF, we can definitely do a lot to increase the placements of students, as well as bringing in internship opportunities. Because we all know we are at the hub of Silicon Valley, we are at San Francisco, in the city, and all the companies that are around us, we can definitely kind of network with them, bring them to our university in order to make better connections, which could at the end lead up into a better internship role. And I personally believe that last year, the team was amazing. Thor and Charlene have been super great, and the entire team, Bibri and Gohar. So even taking that thing forward and making all those things which were kind of missing and which things could have been done better at this particular year, maybe this team can, fulfill the vision of the students. What all is the demand? We want to be your voice and portray your ideas and then finish it to the end. And that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So my third question is, and I want to reiterate the purpose of and mission of the organization. The Graduate Student Board represents the interest of all the graduate students in the School of Management. We listen to the voices, concerns, and feedback of all graduate students in the School of Management. We support the clubs by helping them with their events and activities. We reach out to campus partners. We reach out to USF administration. So the question is, what critical issues within the School of Management student body need to be addressed, and how could you inform and engage the students about these issues? So whoever wants to go first this time. Okay, I'll repeat the question. What critical issues within the School of Management student body need to be addressed, and how would you, and in your position, would you engage and inform the students about these issues?
So I think the major issue that, or can I continue?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
The major issue, in my opinion, that each and every student is facing right now is kind of lack of internships, as well as lack of job opportunities for the second years. And as per my knowledge, the career services team is putting their best end to do it. But then if we kind of bring in more networking opportunities with the people who are kind of actually working in the tech domain or the hospitality, or let's say even in AI and all these things, it would be it would do great benefits to the students at USF. And it is one of the major problem right now, which needs to be addressed. And even last time our team tried our best, and kind of there was an alumni meet organized, but we could have done more events like that, so that more alumni interaction between the students, current graduate students and the alumni take place, so that it could be an opportunity for all the students to land up in better jobs. That is one of the major issues, in my opinion. The second issue, and I would say lack of spread of word thing, is about our clubs and about how well they are doing, how much initiative they are taking. Like the Net Impact Club, every 15 days they are organizing something, but not everybody knows about how well they are doing. Or the Startup Club, what all ideas they are doing. So if more people, participate in these clubs, and we have a better spread of word about these clubs, it would be a great thing. And these are some more issues which we can address. Another particular thing, there could be a kind of way in which we can generalize the ideas of people and ask about their opinions. It's like a review thing or a survey thing, which can be done periodically, and so that the voices and the ideas of people are heard directly. And I think if we are able to address all of these things, GSP can do great, and it would be a better place for all of us.
Thank you.
Whoever
wants to go next.
I can add to it.
If
Does Vibha want to go?
Viva, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I didn't unmute. Nice. Okay, cool. I don't want to say it as an important issue, but I just want to see it in the eyes of like, what more can we offer, right? What more GSS could offer? So one thing that we can focus next year is how to look at the aspect of the disengaged or disconnected students in terms of broader school community. So when we talk about anything related to SOM or any event, I feel it is confined to Agora. So it gets so confined and narrowed down. And why is it? Because the information is not being reached to all programs, or is it the information is not so relatable to all the programs? So where I feel we can focus next year is to kind of take an advantage of that school community. So we are in a SOM group, and we already have some more than 4 or 5 programs within ourselves. How often that we all did something together, that is one thing. And if you think even broader school community, right? So we are in a Silicon hub, and how many schools we have? We have Stanford, we have Davis, we have Huss, we have San Jose State University, San Francisco State University. Maybe, how about something that brings all the SOM communities together, all the school communities together. How about we develop a small network or put a foundation of that network that other years to come, it gets carried forward. So I believe we have to take an advantage of being in this location in midst of such great schools and great companies, create with all the time gone first for assignments, classes, then internship hunt, college hunt, and everything. We'll have only so much of time. So we don't have a quantitative advantage, but we need to bring something in a qualitative fashion. So with limited time, how can we let it be few events or few any elements of GSS? How can it reach to a larger audience and have many years of many next set of folks that will come in? It will be something to carry forward. So some of the ideas that I feel is that we have to take an advantage of being in San Francisco hub and do industrial visits, going to companies, connecting companies to our school, and bring a couple of schools together and build boot camps or have a in-house learning webinars. So we bring someone from another school or someone from another company, and we have these regular things going on. And the last another idea that I have is, so this is something that even I face, the lack of information. Often I get to know about an event only when the event is done and something is being posted on a LinkedIn by someone. So how about we create a bi-weekly newsletter which has all the information, like list of events that's coming up, or even that need not come from just from USF faculty or staff, but even if students who have gone and found, hey, this is a conference that's worth attending. So how would we put those links and circulate it, have a regular resource that students can go to? So not all students can attend all events or meetings or go through the meals, but what if we bring a common source like a bi-weekly or a weekly newsletter, which puts all this information together? So I feel there is, these are not the issues, but these are areas that would really add value for our time here and upcoming students as well. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, Vibha put it so well, which exactly is what I had in mind and what I wanted to say. We have a huge lack of networking within the students itself. Just leave about outside networking, like internships, jobs, everything, yes, but like there is a huge lack of networking among the students ourselves. Like when we go out for an event, when I meet a person from another department, it's very informative. They share a lot of information. Opportunities are out there. Like it might not be relevant for them, but it can be relevant for me. So when I connect with my fellow students or other cohort students, like that itself will create a lot of opportunities and exposure for every single student is what I believe. So when that happens, when you organize an event, the word will spread even more quick. Like Vibha was telling, we need to have a forum or some source of way to communicate this to everybody. Like now slowly I see things actually coming up. Like when now putting myself in this position, like putting myself out and like participating in the events, I get to meet a lot of people. Now I know, like if we are organizing something in AIS club, in AIS club, now I know like where I have to reach out, where to other groups or to other program students. Like, but not everyone attends such events. Not everyone goes to events. Like even when we bring out a newsletter and we post events, like not everyone goes and puts themselves out there to go and attend and spend time there. But I think that should be broken. Like somehow we have to engage every student, connect everybody, so that like the networking within the students, if it's strengthened, I think that will pave way for the next level of, better networking outside the student community. So that is something I wanted to add.
Next.
Yeah. So one of the things that I feel is important to address over here is previously we did not have a lot of clubs that were formed, and now with clubs forming up and with them wanting some funds which they can use for events or some of the other things which will help them to actually grow as a club. I feel as a VP of Finance, I would want to be that channel through which I can source funds to these clubs so that they engage more in events, and they have that area where if they feel that they don't know where these funds will come for the particular events that they want to host. So I want to make sure that I manage the funds of the GSB and make sure these clubs get the desired funds that is required and help them grow.
All right, I'm the last one, I guess. So I think the current GSB team is doing great. The thing is that one thing which even I feel that it's been almost like 9 months I've been attending the classes, and this is the first time which has happened alumni in tech like 2 days back. And I think a lot of people, they were like us amazed that there were like a lot of feedbacks coming from the team members, even from our cohort, that we need to have this on more regularly basis. And honestly, one thing I feel that inside our college only, because there are a lot of like part-time students, there are also students who are already working there. We can leverage those students for like attending the, like they could be the guest session. I mean, I can give a scenario which happened with me. So I'm doing consulting cap, and there are like a lot of team members who are from Tesla, Cruise and all. And I don't think people are aware about that. These people are already working there as a product manager. And I know that a lot of people, they want to like build their career into these areas. So rather going outside, I think there are a lot of situations in which we can leverage. We can find out the people who are already working as a full-time job, and we can ask them to the guest speakers rather bringing somebody from the industry. And also one thing, like I totally agree what other team members also mentioned, like there's like lack of engagement. I feel that we need to have like a calendar or something which like most of the corporate does, that, okay, we will be having these kind of events on the monthly basis. If I know that in my calendar, these are some things which will be coming, I will ensure that, okay, I'll put my time and efforts ensuring that I'll be attending these kind of sessions, right? Because I know these sessions are important for me. And a lot of people, they are not just in San Francisco. A lot of people, they are like commuting at different places. So it becomes difficult for everybody if we're getting information like 2 days prior, okay, this event is happening today. So I think we need to be more proactive. If we can have like a marketing strategy, okay, this is something which we have scheduled for this month, I think we can have the more participation. And I think we are, the second thing, which I think most of the team touched already, that we are blessed that we are in San Francisco. A lot of companies are around. If we have a proper strategy, if we have like the support from all the different clubs, we can definitely bring those companies, not like just for the placement, maybe somebody from the guest speakers, like how exactly somebody from the HR side or somebody from who was working on the tech side. What is the process of getting like a fresh graduates going into the company? What is their experience? Because I'm sure that everybody has gone through this phase. So I feel like these kind of things, if we can encourage these kind of community buildings, I think students will be more engaged, and maybe we need to start doing one and to see how exactly the results goes. And based on that, we can always tweak and we can always see that where is the room we can make the changes. The third last thing which I would like to touch is that most of the times I've seen that the events and everything has been posted on Instagram or LinkedIn. There are only 2 channels, but I don't know like how many people are very active on Instagram given the course load and everything. So I was thinking that maybe we can have a feedback or suggestion, something like people who are like coming to the college, they can just write an anonymous note. Okay, this is something they want to do this month. I think that will be great suggestion, because people, they don't have to like directly come to us, like, because many times people are not comfortable in sharing something which is not very positive, right? So we need to come up with forums in which people are more transparent. If there is a transparency in communication flow, I feel that there is a lot of things we can make changes there. And we are already doing it. I think we just need to leverage what are the different channels, what are the different marketing strategies in which we can have the better engagement opportunities for students. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. And I will only from this point on, I will just only cover one question, and then I'll give the floor to everyone for you guys to ask questions for our candidates. GSB, or Graduate Student Board, organizes and creates events for students and supports our graduate student clubs and organizations, and even our campus partners, which require organization, research, communication, and time management skills. If you guys are elected, how will you balance the work in GSB, and even if you have an internship or work outside of the school, and the task assigned by your leadership role? So basically, how will you manage your time serving for GSB given your other responsibilities? Anyone can go.
I'd like to go first.
Go ahead.
So this role, full-time student representative, I don't see this as an extra role or an extra job. So being the current president of AIS, or like trying to figure my way out through this career, like this is going to be adding a lot of value to me. So this is not going to be an extra role for me. So I'd love to do this, and this is something I'm trying to figure out to establish our club as well, so that I'm like we found this practical difficulty of communication gap, like not knowing the sources. So like being performing in this role will help me bridge that gap, add so much value to GSP and also to my club. So I don't think this is going to be an extra burden or extra role. So I'd be glad to take it and do it.
Anyone else want to share?
So I feel being a part of GSB is one of the great opportunities that we have at hand, and we as MBA students, we are developed in such a manner that we know how to manage our time. And as Thor already mentioned, or the question which arises is how are we going to manage our time with respect to other key areas that we'll have in hand. I feel I'm also starting a finance club because I was always passionate about having clubs within the organization where students can participate. So I feel with respect to finance, with respect to some of the things that I need, I know that I need to develop around the clubs, or some of the things that I want to share with the clubs as part of GSB and being one of the club members. I feel it will be my duty to not think of it as a responsibility, as they already mentioned, but it's more like enjoying the time that I have being a part of GSB and being part of the club. And I think I'll be responsible for whatever comes my way.
I can go next. So basically, I'm standing for the VP of Clubs and Secretary. And I think it is not like something I would take it as an extra burden or an extra work, but something I'm really passionate about, because I really like to get engaged with people, communicate, listen to their problems, and kind of spread their word out, and in a manner so that we all can make an impact to the school. And this is something which is part of my life, and I am really, into doing it. Also, as a part of MBA, I think we have got engaged into multiple courses which have taught us enough to, how to manage time and how to devote time to a particular thing. So on that aspect, I think I'm pretty much clear about how much time to devote and how much, I can engage with people, and how a great amount I can give to the clubs and community at USF in order to make it better than before. Also, I personally am a person who likes to be part of every club, but I can't do that. I practically can't do that. So just to help each and every club and every student know about them and whatever is missing, just to bridge the gap so that I keep connected to all of them and kind of fulfill the needful. So that's my kind of motto here. And over to the next person.
I can go
Thank you.
next. I think this is a great opportunity. I wouldn't consider it as definitely as an add-on role or something, because this is a platform in which there is an opportunity in which we're providing students to provide like what are the suggestions, and based on that we can make changes. So it is not about the other student. I consider myself as a part of this because if I will be passionate about this, what are the changes I will be bringing on the table? I think I'll take it more seriously, and definitely like I'm as a full-time MBA student, so definitely I want to enjoy this role given that my 100% is focused on the studies at this point of time. So I understand that this is not something like an additional role, which is like doing something outside the university, right? This is something which is a part of the university, and it is also an opportunity for me to learn, because if you work in corporate, you will be working with multiple projects at the same time. So definitely MBA is all about like how exactly you'll be prioritizing your work and everything. And there is certain things which definitely it requires times and dedication for this role. And I'm very confident that given that my corporate experience, that could definitely back up like how exactly we will be working in this role, and also I'll be able to manage my studies altogether. Thank you.
So, Shotha, for your question on how we're going to manage this role with our studies and parallel roles, right? I believe the more feasible way of telling is to just prioritize and organize your day to day and go one step at a time and be an effective communicator and ask help when needed and just be honest and like have fun.
Thanks, everyone. It's been lovely to get to know you and your lens in terms of seeing the School of Management and representing our interests all together. So now I'm gonna give everyone the chance to ask specific questions for these candidates. And for all the people on Zoom, feel free to drop it in the chat if you have questions for specific people, for a specific person, or for the officers themselves. Yeah, so does anyone have any questions? Oh, so just to recap, Akil is running for the VP of Finance. Cynthia is running for the position of student representative for full-time students. Popasa is running for the VP of Marketing and Public Relations, and Archie is running for the VP for Clubs and Secretary. Viva is also running for, if I'm not mistaken,
Events and community.
Say right here.
So you mentioned that you want to increase engagement with students and student clubs. And I just kind of want to know if you have like a certain plan or any tangible, like, activities that you want to do. Because as of right now, the only connection we have with GSB is just the newsletter, or, if you happen to see our post on Instagram. And I feel like you guys have a wider reach. So I just kind of want to know, more tangible activities that you'll do.
Yeah, so I can go ahead with that question. So there are few things like as per the whole discussion and our plans for future. Definitely the first thing would be more events on the networking side with the alumni, as per as how Pasna mentioned, within the part-time students who are working in good firms like Tesla and then Cruise and all those, so that we can know more about that. So that is on the networking part. On the networking part towards students who are in the nearby universities, let's say somebody at UC Berkeley or at Stanford. So we will be planning out some events or maybe some kind of competitions to engage with those students and maybe invite them virtually or in person to our school in order to build a better networking with them. On the other note, there is a big problem that sometimes people are not aware that when these events are happening. So maybe a newsletter is a good thing, but then we can have something like a portal online where we keep on updating it in a particular format for the entire month, and students can just open that and see the number of conferences that are going to happen, on the number of events that Net Impact is going to do, or something that the Startup Club is going to do, or something at the main campus which is going on, which could be be really engaging for all the students. Also on the side of social media, not just Instagram, we will try to cover more to reach more people. Let's say more kind of posters at campus on the bulletin boards, or more kind of reach on LinkedIn, kind of tagging people so that they can know about what are events which are happening in and around, and use various techniques which our team can offer to the marketing side in order to, increase the engagement of students and somehow build a community together. Not just, okay, there is a body that works for the students and we don't know much about it, but a part of your voice. We just want to be that. And I think we'll try our best to be that.
Thank you, Archie. At this point, everyone doesn't need to answer all of the questions targeted at them. But
I would actually like to add
Sure.
to Arshi's point, like before we go ahead and do all that, of course, that's a great plan and idea. We will be trying to, bring it into action. But before that, I think I honestly believe like this is what we experienced. By the time I got to know GSB was there for us, GSB is doing so much of amazing things. This is a great source for the students. I happen to know like end of last semester. So probably like when students come in and get to know about GSB, like we're close to graduating. So I want probably try and change that thing. We will show GSB's presence right when the people have started to come in right at the moment they start coming in. So when students come in, they will know like first School of Management has GSB board and they're doing so many things. So the presence of GSB should be introduced and established right at the beginning itself. So that itself will like kind of help, spread the word quickly or to reach and connect with the students more.
thank you. As part of the current board, we've been working with establishing the foundational base and supporting the graduate student organizations such as Net Impact, Startup Club, and all of the rest, and even campus partners. So by means of establishing a website wherein resources of our forms for funding will be there, all of the toolkits needed for graduate student organizations for more collaborations will be there. So we started that foundational base this year, and we'd like to continue like supporting student organizations for next year. But for the candidates, it's basically the VP of Clubs and Secretary who'll be connecting with the student clubs. I see your
one thing Vibha mentioned about the newsletter, I guess there are 2 newsletters which already go out weekly, one from GSB and one from the in-campus the Dawns Connect. So that is happening. And one thing which you both just mentioned about that, all the efforts are towards putting GSB's name out in the open. But if people know about GSB or any events, what are the efforts you can do to bring them actually to events? This is something you will do to market the event better. But what are the efforts which can be done to actually bring them here? Because that's what we as a club were also suffering from. And another thing about, let's keep it for later.
I hear 2 points, components from Nev's
So-
input. The first one is, as the current board, we also like to acknowledge Viva that we have newsletter from Augusty, who is sending out a list of events and activities monthly. We also have newsletter from student organizations, and we do have a newsletter from the USF itself, which is Dawns Connect. The second part is your
They would,
question.
like coming to Upasana's, but not. I don't think so that we just reach out to through LinkedIn or Instagram. There is a WhatsApp circular which you in the class group must be getting.
Yeah.
There are ways to do that, and we have been trying that, but things are not happening. So the efforts on the other side of the table is the second question, not
Yeah.
this side.
The second part is the question of Nev. We experience student apathy. We experience lack of student involvement in activities based on the experience of student organizations and us as GSP. I guess, what is your recommendation to solve that?
That's exactly is what I was talking
I
about.
can go on
Yeah.
this. That's a very great question, and I totally agree because like the chairs are empty and students are not here, right? So that is kind of like, it doesn't feel good. So one thing which I will go with like Cynthia's point, like during the onboarding, I mean, I shouldn't use the word onboarding, whenever the students are joining, right? Like in the fall or like whenever the spring sessions happen, as I mentioned previously, if we have a calendar schedule that this is something which is happening around the year, we can encourage the students in the beginning that just to have a like taste of all the clubs. Okay, like for example, if I'm a very newcomer to USF, I know that I'll be interested in meeting not just from my cohort, from also from the different cohorts also, because it is a chance for me to networking around. And if we can make it a compulsory session, like the first session, like, okay, this today VP of like finances, something is happening, this GSB is doing something. I would like to go and see what is the ROI I'm getting from this cultural event, right? But if the same thing, if we're trying to decide after a year, I'm already engaged with so much of workload, I'm so much of stressed out. Okay, today I have to think about internship, tomorrow I have to think about the job. I don't know how to balance it out. But the first year, like students who are also coming for a first year program, or for students who are coming for the 2-year MBA course, that is the best time if we can decide, okay, this is something which we'll be doing on the monthly basis, and this is an opportunity for you for networking. If we can use the word networking, I think people will be more energized and motivated and see that what benefits they're getting from these clubs. So rather putting everything on the like second year, I think the plan is to decide everything from the day one when the students are coming to the USF. And
I guess it happens because there were elections happening when we came in. Aishwarya Patil came in. We all knew about GSB right from the start.
I totally agree on that, but I don't think
All
like
came in as student representative because
Yeah,
in GSB you
You are
came in.
correct. Actually, Nivedit, let's
There were the events happening in the start. Yeah.
points. Let's take like absolutely, showcasing what is GSP is a part of it. But, actions speaks more than words, as simple as that. Give what people want. If people want more events in networking through bringing alumni, give them that. If people want, maybe we are inviting 5 people who are from the part-time student to a net impact event, and people will get a chance to meet them who are working at the Facebook, Tesla, and maybe Google. Then people might be interested to go to the networking events. So in this today's world, we all are business people. We are talking in terms of profit and loss, right? So ask the people what they want, ask the batch, ask the graduate student what they demand, and offer them exactly the same thing. It is not about exactly spreading a word about GSP. It is about making the actions of GSP in a way that people recognize it in a manner and people are aware about the clubs, making the events so interesting and, so returning on the time and the effort people are investing, making it a better thing there. I think that should be something which will solve this particular issue. Also about the newsletter, which you mentioned, I have seen those newsletters, but I think the presence of those newsletters on our regular internal groups are comparatively less, and maybe all the members who are of the GSP and who are of handling these clubs, maybe we can use it on our social medias as well and kind of represent it as well as on the LinkedIn. That could be another method to spread these newsletters out. It could really help people know about what events are going and what are we gonna do.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanna acknowledge first our president for the year, Bri Pasco. I think you have your hand raised.
Yeah,
Go
thank
ahead.
you. And Viva, I will get to you in just a second too. I want to make sure
Sure.
that you get your time to answer that question. I do want to say that this is a really good conversation, and it's something that's very apparent for GSB, for administration, for students. We know that there's a communication break, and we acknowledge that. And we acknowledge that there is a break between RSVPs versus actual attendance. And that is something that we have to work on as a group. And that's something they should be talking about a little bit later on. And it's definitely an important piece that everybody should be collaborating on together, not just the students, but also administration, faculty. They need to be involved in that as well. So thank you for that conversation. But I do want to pass it off to Viva, and then after Viva, there is a question in the chat that I will share.
Thank you so much. For Nivedit, your question, right? It's reasonable. So you're trying to see from after you've marketed the event, how do you make sure that you have a turnout? So I'll just tie back to a recent example that I was part of. So there's this event called Alumni in Tech, which you all attended, and I volunteered with Marcos for the outreach program of that event. And I'll tell you why we had more turnout for that event in comparison to so many events that in a year that we have attended, right? One is it was from the tech. So we understood that out of majority of the students, they're looking for tech industry. So that was the first win. Second was alumni. So somewhere the students understood that having a connection, building a network might lead me to an internship, which is at the right phase at this time for the upcoming summer. Third, volunteers and partnering with career service team, asking out for help. So we broke down, we reached out to 700 alumni in the span and brought in all the volunteers together and knocked everyone's door to bring Meta on campus or such elite groups as well. So offering what student wants, just like Ashi said, right? That becomes more important than just with its vision, yes, fine. But at the same time, the recipients, what they need. So how is it through surveys or is it by networking and questioning people or asking what they want? That's something that we need to figure it out as a team. But it becomes really important instead of 10 clubs doing 100 things, come all together, we do 10 things and we do 10 right things in the next year. And that is something that SOM group, if you're focusing on that, they'll have a takeaway at the end. They'll have one opportunity or something to learn or something they have networked, a built a connection, or at least made a nice memory. So to have a vision and then working towards it becomes important. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
I totally agree. Like, it's a team effort because I was also asking as someone who will be doing the things which Net Impact does as a club. So this has to be a team effort for sure. And one more thing which I want before Shashank, sorry, that of course events like where alumni come in will have a better turnout because everyone is here for their career. But the clubs there are certain clubs which don't focus on that part of the curve. Something like Thor you're coming up with. This is not something which will focus, something which Net Impact does. It translates to what you do in your life, but not in a direct career size of way. And I personally think that GSB is also liable or like is also a support for those clubs. So and we have to fill that gap. Students coming in for it, and I think of course they'll come in because they are seeing their career in front of us, but bringing those students into other events as well. That's what we have to figure out as a team. And yes, as a team.
I think I resonate so much with Nivadit. That's exactly I was talking about earlier as well. Like that was the gap that was the challenge we are facing right now in our club as well. So like Bree said, like it's not just about doing marketing or advertising or telling people or sending it in WhatsApp. Even I received some thing about Net Impact, like through another common friend, like Nivadit wants to share this. Yes, it works like that. But I think we as executives have to come in together, say once in a month or something. You bring your speaker series, I bring my speaker series. Every group brings a speaker, sit and okay, these are the things we're planning. Like this is very generic. Everybody can attend. So let's plan it. And like Bree said, there should be faculty also involved in this because for the alumni in-tech event that was planned, it was more specific to our program. We as students were trying to get into tech companies, but we had a class. We had a class from 6 to 10. So there was a clash. So I tried in talking to a professor, like, and we pulled off, like, we talked to them, that she let us go for an hour. So if there was, we had to rush things. We couldn't meet a lot of alumni. Like I spoke with a couple of people, couple of alumni. That's it. So I think that collaboration, sitting together and talking, will help a lot.
Just wanna let me call on B first for the question in the chat, and then we'll proceed. Thank you.
Thanks, Star. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, that's everybody is making really great points, and these are some of the things that we have talked about within GSB this year, and we want to start those foundations of creating what we were envisioning as a collaborative planning group amongst all the leadership with all of the graduate student organizations and including those faculty when it comes to that time. They're not going to be involved in every meeting. They're way too busy for that. And we have to acknowledge that their capacity is limited, but it is important for them to be involved because during those classes, sometimes these events might tie in, right? They might tie in with what they're doing in class. They might tie in with what the students need for the next session or something like that. But going off of those things, Saad mentioned in the chat 2 questions. So does GSB candidates have a plan for campus-wide initiatives beyond social media blasts that are fostering inclusivity amongst graduate students across campuses? And I want to limit these questions answers to 2 minutes per person. We want to make sure that we have enough time to give other folks a chance to ask their questions as well. And so this is a question for any of you. Do the candidates have a plan for campus-wide initiatives beyond social media blasts that foster inclusivity among graduate students across campuses? Don't all jump for it at once.
But we sure will be trying to put initiatives to do that.
Basically, we can plan some kind of in-person kind of small half an hour event to bring people and maybe use it recorded through Zoom and spread the word to people in some other format, and also maybe sometimes, you know, spreading in form of pamphlets as well if there is a big event for from the side of GSP, like as there was alumni in tech, that was a really major event. So if we think there is something beneficial, we can definitely do. And also I would like to add on, there are multiple events happening at the main campus, which is also part of USF, and there are offerings for the graduate student as well to participate in those events, but you know, we aren't having knowledge about that, so we would like to, you know, pull in more participation for those as well and tell people about that.
That's the question, how? Because he studies in the main campus.
Yeah, so
I would like to.
yeah, go ahead.
I definitely feel that there is a disconnect between the main campus and the downtown campus, because I don't know how many people are there in the main campus, because most of my courses happen in the downtown campus. And unless you have a job, then only you go to the main campus, right? So I feel that there, I mean, we can use the canvas like under the self-banner student, that what are the events, whatever coming, people can directly go there and see. We can pitch this to the faculty staff member, if we can design something in which every student, all the graduate student, they have a forum in which they can see that what are the events which are coming. And for example, I think the timing is very important whenever the event is happening. If that alumni intake event would happen like 9 months back, I'm not sure how many people would be interested, given that internship is that is a huge pressure which all the MBA students is currently facing. And I think the GSB, they did it at right timing, that they organized this event at the right time. So if we have a calendar schedule, which I already mentioned, that if we are able to know that, okay, this month, this is something which is happening, we can put our time separately to attend those kind of events. And also we can see that, okay, the main campus, we can always organize the events, not only the downtown campus and also to the main campus, so that there is an opportunity where we can meet with the people who are outside our cohort. But we can definitely come with a better suggestions also, depending upon what other people in the group decides.
My question is that we have a diverse array of courses being offered. There's economics, there's finance. I get it that we've been discussing about alumni in tech, but what about the people who are not interested in tech? They're like, I know Thor is interested in packaged goods. I am interested in more of the marketing side. I don't care about the product. So how do you include that? Like survey is one way to find out that a lot of people are interested in one thing. How do you prioritize what comes first? And also a follow-up question to that, would you keep a tab of the schedules? Because like everyone said, one of the reasons why all of us are missing these events is because it is clashing with the classes, assignments, something like that.
Thank you. I want to limit the answers to 2 minutes also.
So just to know like how to prioritize upon that. So there are various options to, do quick surveys. Like let's say I can just kind of post a question like this. What should be the next alumni event be about? Should it be by marketing? Should it be about more into manufacturing side or more into automobile side? So this could be our way to know from your people, whichever gets more votes, and we are pulling that particular alumni event first. And also definitely when we as a GSP team are planning this entire schedule, it will have all of these events, definitely in marketing, more in tech, more in automobile sector, more in something related to solar energy, something like that. And we need to definitely keep a record of that, like which days we are scheduling those events, and are they really meaningful to everybody who's going to attend these events? Because at the end of the day, what matters, like if we are doing something, there should be maximum attendance from the people, so that all the efforts that we are putting in make sense, right? And even if we are spending GSP's funds somewhere, so that it should be beneficial for the people. So definitely knowing the opinion by those quick polls, which is other kind of not long surveys, but quick polls, which would be, quick method for people to do it. And it would be that much time consuming for people to answer as well as. So even for the suggestions, we can definitely go with some options like word cloud. There are various quick links that offer word cloud option. And by those word cloud options, we can definitely pull more ideas if we wanted at initially, like quickly, very quickly on a better note.
Thank you.
Um,
Anyone else? Or Viva, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Yeah. Another input here is, so we might not have an answer for the end result, but for the planning, I feel it's important for us to categorize and have your calendar, not your calendar, but a complete vision for a year. So when I mean categorize, so we have industry categorizations. So that comes under like what is it, tech industry, consumer goods. So, and the second category could be trending. So what is trending right now? Chat GPT. Another thing trending, it's the weather, to be honest. And another pillar would be community as well, right? It's not just our job and our studies, it's also the community around us, the volunteering pillar around it. So having all the categories and listing all the functions, I guess it will help us to develop events so that we know for sure each bucket there is something that is checked off, rather than there's more number of events in one bucket than the others. So for your question, like I feel this will be a better way of going ahead with bridging the disconnect and planning out the event so that all sorts of event so don't go underrepresented.
Thank you.
Thank you, Viva.
Yes. Oh, you have a.
No, I was just
Thank you. Thank you, Bree. Oh, sorry, Bree, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question specifically for Akil as the candidate for VP of Finance. So currently in GSB, we've been trying to build foundations to diversify our portfolio a little bit more and provide more opportunities for students with our funds. Since we are funded through student activity fees, we want to provide more ways for them to utilize those things. For example, we are starting to create mini grants for possible conference events or trainings or developments. In what ways would you help to increase and diversify those fundings for students and also increase the funding for GSB initiatives?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, Bree. So one of my goals when I took up this particular position was to make sure that whatever clubs are coming up recently, previously we did not have a lot of clubs coming up. So I wanted to make sure that the funds which are available to the GSB, it gets divided to the clubs as well, so that they can make sure that whatever event they want to plan in the future, they're able to do that. So for me, it's like I want to know, I'll be making sure that the funds that we collect from the students and from the other organizations, I want to make sure that we are able to at least channel those funds into securities if we are provided that opportunity that within the GSB, it's under our purview to invest those funds in some form of securities that generate some return for those funds as well. To make sure that those funds are invested in those securities that does not have a lot of risk involved, because obviously it's the funds of the students and the organizations. So I feel that is what I had in mind. And with respect to making sure that the clubs get to know about the funds that are available, I wanted to do a sort of presentation for the clubs who already exist, or the people who want to come up with new clubs, to make sure that I can provide that information that this is the amount of funding that we have from GSB for the clubs, and they can use this funds for their events or any other planned activities that they have. And it will be our responsibility to reimburse them with those funding requirements. Can I answer your question, Bree?
I have a follow-up question, Bree.
Yeah, I think the follow-up question for me is specifically for students that are not involved in student organizations, graduate student organizations. How will you help us create funds to provide students those opportunities to utilize that? As in, so right now we're in the works of creating a mini, like I said, the mini grants for a specific number of students to attend trainings instead of just event specific, for professional development and other things like that. So in what ways would you help us do that? Or how would you reach out to students to find out what they need?
I think with respect to the trainings, I feel most of the students, they already have the channels that provide them free trainings, such as maybe LinkedIn Learning. I feel specific grants, I'm not sure about how I would do that, but in the future, I feel I would definitely want to look into this particular matter and come up with some ideas through which I can actually help maintain that balance.
Any questions? Char?
Yeah, this could probably be 1 minute each candidate, because I just want to know for every candidate. As members of the Graduate Student Board of School of Management, everyone, I believe you're focusing on networking because that's what the current problem is. But I want to know, how will you be able to instill, if you're elected, and partake or share the values that USF has to the students? Because there is more than what we are doing in our careers. How about the social impact? How will you be able to make sure that you're sharing that to not just the not just the other clubs, but the boards? Because as what Nev mentioned, net impact, it's more than a career. It's what you're passionate about. So as members, again, how will you be able to share that to the community?
I can go ahead first. So, in my opinion, it is a very personal choice to people to be part of, let's say, Net Impact Club or Startup Club or the communities which are offered in the main campus. But where we come in picture is to bridge the gap if people are not aware about these clubs and if they are not aware about the opportunities that these clubs are offering them. And certainly if we want to particularly see more kind of more kind of availability from the people, then we need to make these events that are being organized by these clubs more giving in nature. You know what I mean? I mean, like, as I suggested when Nev was asking, like, why would people come to Net Impact event? We are just doing kind of social work. So if a big part of it lies in networking, then why not, let's say, invite two people who are, good alumni of USF and who are doing well, so that just to make it more attractive to everybody.
Thank you,
Does
Archie.
it make sense? Thanks.
I can learn it. Just to add on what Archie added. So I feel like every time, like depending on the clubs, there will be always fluctuations in the engagement. But if I talk about like Net Impact, as Nivedit asked that question, I think he personally connect because I know him personally also because we are in the same cohort. And he's very passionate about like sustainability or climate or everything. So I think if we have like a person, or for example, Thor, he's more interested about consumer goods. So if we will be if these people are the leaders, whenever we're having these kind of programs, or like whenever we have these clubs, like what is the ROI he's getting from these, like whenever he's running these clubs, right? If they can translate to the people whenever we have the engagement, I think that will provide like an opportunity for the students that why they need to go ahead with these clubs instead of these clubs. So somebody who's like passionate about the club, for example, I'm very passionate about marketing. I can speak more about marketing than Net Impact. He's more passionate about Net Impact. So these, I think they are the leaders. And whenever we're having these kind of clubs, they need to provide like what is the ROI and why somebody like who's like a fresher, like who is somebody who's like trying to explore different industry, they will be able to engage and connect more, and so that the engagement can be much higher.
Anyone on the floor has any other questions? And what candidates do you want to answer that question? No need if you don't want.
I think personally, like trying to connect in person with the students will facilitate this a little bit more in a better way. I know it's kind of old school, and I don't know how practically it will be possible. Probably a 1 minute session or 1 minute, reaching out, like in different programs, and going and trying to connect with them will help us kind of spread the word, spread the news in a better way. Like I said, I don't know how far it's going to be practically possible, but I think that will work. We tried it in our own cohort, and we saw better results. So I think we will try to do that.
Thank you.
Anyone on Zoom?
Uh,
We're down to
Yeah,
maybe-
sure.
Oh, you know, answer the question.
Yeah. So volunteering, nonprofit, social impact, it's very personal. I know it shouldn't be personal. It's everyone's end of the day duty, but in practical terms, it will become everyone's choice or the priority it takes. I have been a volunteer for Red Cross. I've been a volunteer for Second Harvest because no one said, because I went looking for it. But it's interesting how we can use the events that are upcoming and also curate events where we can bring in more people. So I've seen Net Impact trying to do the beach cleaning activities as such, but along with that, we open California, at least the Northern California's highest category of nonprofit stays in food, zero hunger, the number 2 sustainable goal. So we have an n number of NGOs. So partnering with NGOs, bring in those connections and taking everyone out there. It could be a fun visit and also a way to tell that, what difference you made, showing what difference you made, and playing those videos in our, if possible, the small computer LEDs, if we can have in and around as we pass. So that would really play a role.
That's a great point, Vibha. In Net Impact, also the VP of Outreach position is there. You should apply.
Yeah,
Love the
in
yeah.
in
Any other questions before we close out? And if none, I can give the candidates 2 minutes to answer. I guess my last question would be basically, why should students vote for you? This will be as quick as it can get. Maybe 1 minute.
Sure. I can go ahead. So I believe that students should vote for me for the clubs and secretary position, because I really want to be the voice of students and kind of bridge the gaps which are currently present in our GSP community and with the students. All the ideas that we have are for the betterment of the students, and we really want to learn more from them, that what exactly they demand. And my whole focus here is to make an impact, and we can make an impact by doing what the students they demand and fulfilling the necessities, the needs for more networking, more internship. And I think that should be a better goal for everybody to do well overall. So thank you all, and please vote for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Candidates, go ahead. Who wants to go next?
All right, thank you again for providing me this opportunity. So if I'll be elected for this position, I'm running for VP of Marketing and Public Relation. One of the principles which I believe in my life is like execution. So I feel that this is a platform in which the students will have an opportunity to have their voices heard. And I will be a platform like to ensure that whatever queries or whatever suggestions they have, it is reaching out to the faculty. And as I mentioned that I'm a firm believer of execution. So I can translate whatever feedback or whatever things we have problems around in our, whatever problems you're facing, so that it could be heard and it could be executed with a better suggestions or feedback. And as I mentioned that I will work closely with other organizations like other other club members to ensure that we have a better branding about the USF in terms of having better networking and better placements for the students. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cynthia, and if I'm elected as a student representative for this GSP, I will be a great liaison between the student body and the organization, the GSP board, and I will try to listen more to what you guys have to say, what the students have to say, to be more actively listening to you guys, representing you guys to the board and representing the board to the students, so I can be more accountable for what I say and what I do. I would love to hear from you guys, and I think I am here because I face some situations and issues as a student, and I am here to rectify that and to address that. Putting myself in this position, I think future students or anybody who's coming after us, the future batches or the current batches, will no more have to face what I face. So vote for me and let's get over with these things.
So hi guys, I'm running for VP of Finance, and I would like you guys to vote for me because I want to make sure that the funds that you provide to the USF, it's in the right hands. And coming from a background of finance, I'm also a CF level 3 candidate, and I've been into companies where I've managed the budgets. So I want to make sure that the funds which we get as an organization, it is being directed in the right channel, and it is made available to all the people who are in need of those funds, be it clubs, be it the students who are in need of any form of financial issues that they are facing, if we can provide them, if it's within our purse, how to make sure that we keep that handy and make them available for anyone who's in need.
Viva?
Yeah, sure. Why vote for me? We just MBA folks, we just have like 1 year more on this campus. MSIS less than a year. Other for MSEI, I guess they'll be out this summer. So you got to know how time is just passing by, and we'll have just short time to make more memories and to learn and teach each other and to make every event and every interaction count. So I feel I bring in good set of ideas and a project management experience to make it happen. So, oh yeah, and I am standing for VP Events and Community Building.
Thank you, everyone. Can we get a round of applause for a candidate here? To get to know and meet everyone. Running for a leadership position for the graduate student board for next year, and I want to thank all the campus partners, the graduate student organizations who are here. Again, thank you for support, and we appreciate and we look forward to more collaborations with you. And also to Dan, thank you for coming here. You've been listening there, but we want to work with you in addressing issues in the School of Management, also in university-wide. So, and also for people on Zoom, thank you for attending. And again, thank you for everyone attended and who met the candidates here. You can stay if you want to talk to them, but I just want to remind everyone that the voting will take place from April 10 to 17. Every graduate student in the School of Management will receive an email and they will fill up a form to vote. So, oh, there's food outside. So if you can grab some. Thank you so much.
Should we take a photo?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. If anyone go, this is first time to meet everyone.
The candidates.
Yeah, okay. I mean, okay, go ahead. Yeah. Pin Viva.
Yeah. Hi.
No, I mean, would you mind pin Viva?
Yes. Yeah, you guys can, move forward.
I'm also learning.
I look like a poster.
Can you see Viva?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm rooming.
Would you mind to help me to move the chair?
Just once.
Usually you can do a
Do we need?
No. That's fine. No.
We'll just stand like in a.
No.
Let's go ahead.
Move a little bit.
That's what I
That's good.
for the learning part, because learning,
Okay.
you will.
Yeah, I mean,
They just touch the basics.
One,
I will do the
three,
Yes.
three. Thank you. This side.
We all take a picture. Yes. This one was.
Just filtering data.
Yeah.
Select this, where this, buy this. 3 hours, it's gonna be tough though. Who's the professor?
Send to you guys here, that way just one call and in person.